Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Liv and Maddie. This is a 2016 Disney Channel series, or maybe it was on Disney XD, I'm not really sure. It stars Doug Cameron in both roles. It's that classic premise of one actor playing twins, and of course their lives are very different. One is just a glamorous movie TV star. She's a celebrity and she lives in Hollywood with their aunt, which we don't get told until like the last scene of the show why she's coming back to Wisconsin to live with her family, which includes her twin sister Maddie, who is a tomboy and very sporty, wears glasses, so she might be smarter. So it tells you just they're using physical cues so you can tell them apart. So they're not just literally twins who dress alike. You know, you've had twins in your life who literally do their hair the same. They dress alike. They talk alike. They're exactly the same. Well, they live two very different lives, apparently for a really long time, so that they differentiate. And they pretty much, they do their best to be completely different and clash in every possible way, which creates comedy, conflict, and comedy, which is what Disney Channel thrives on. This is it's kind of built on, not wholly on the premise of, Hannah Montana, one woman, one girl, two identities. It's two identities being perceived as one person. So, yeah, sort of just the opposite. Because twins are the same person, right? Now, they just physically, they look a lot alike. And of course, you know that at some point, one of them disguises themselves as the other in order to fool somebody. Well, that happens literally in the first episode. They knock that out of the park right away. Just take care of that. And if you don't know who Dove Cameron is, by the way, you've seen her in Descendants. She's the voice of Gwen Stacy in the Marvel animated shows, and she's done a ton of other stuff. She's just all over the place. But she was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. also. Of course, Descendants, Schmigadoon, if you've watched that on, I think, Apple TV. She's super talented. She's a singer. Of course, there is a moment where she performs music. In this case, she shows her sister a music video that they just filmed, and so that gives you a short little clip of her performing and singing. And every once in a while, she sings what she wants to say, showing that she's a bit of a drama queen and very big personality, let's just say, who could be she's, again, very much the opposite of Maddie, who is shy, likes a boy, but very shy about it, a little bit more awkward, and, but yeah, she's, except for the fact that she's very bold about her sports, yes. I think she booyahs a number of people throughout the show, or she has some sort of phrase. I'm not sure what it is, but I had it in my head earlier, and I thought I was going to start off the video saying it, because they seem to work really hard at building in catchphrases from the get-go. Like, if you're a Liv and Maddie fan, you already know what I'm talking about. You can quote a number of Liv and Maddie catchphrases. Yeah, trust me, it's not accidental. But through all this, yes, you have the twin drama, best friends, separated by fame and distance, or just two different lives. But you also have mom and dad, who conveniently both work at the school they go to, where a lot of the drama is probably going to unfold with boyfriends and rivals and whatever else. We didn't get into a mean girl situation, but odds are there's going to be a mean girl situation at some point. Some bullying is going to happen. It's just the way it is. Then there's the two doofy brothers, one who's a teenager who wants to get a girlfriend, but probably it's gonna be the butt of a joke where he can't nail that down, and probably until the last season. I don't know. Then there's a little brother who is just an agent of chaos, who basically takes advantage of every situation and wishes that he could poop in the bathroom with the door open. Like, everybody's changed his diaper. What's the mystery? Which is actually a pretty good line. There is some good comedy in this. It is funny. Yes, it is very much turned up a notch for Disney Channel. It is very tweaked, and it is very much in front of a live studio audience. I don't know if they did tape this in front of a studio audience. There is a laugh track throughout this. I don't know if it's real humans or if it's just a track, because it has to be so hard to shoot, because, again, you have to keep doing these split shots with, yes, doubles. Their doubles are actually pretty well credited, clearly credited. Emmy Mattingly is Liv 2, and Shelley Wolfert is Maddie 2. So if there's a scene where you don't need to see both their faces and they got a hug or something, you know what? These people are right there in the cast list at the end. So yeah, you got to. The parents are well-meaning, but a little bit doofy, a little bit slow on some things. At least, again, I've only watched the first episode. Maybe they evolve, but they tend to be standard Disney parents who are the butt of jokes. Kids are smarter, parents aren't so bright, but they come in a clutch. They pretty much, they lay down the law and they show what's right and wrong in the end. I'm pretty sure that's how it's going to work out throughout the rest of the series. They have that, when the kids need them the most, they have that moral fortitude to say, this is how it is, and I love you anyway, no matter what, blah, blah, blah. That's the way it works. It's a formula that it's not just a Disney Channel formula. It's kid television formula. And by the way, speaking of formulas, because this is the 2013-ish, this is also shot in that same. It's not a documentary, but it is. It's using that format like Modern Family uses, which is also made by ABC, Disney. So where they keep whenever they need to, it totally, I don't know. They break the fourth wall because they're always talking to you as if they're being interviewed when they need to break up a scene. Every other scene is something that people would not be doing if they knew a camera was watching them at all times. Mom and dad sitting on the couch watching television while their sons attempt to move various large pieces of furniture into a garage, I think, in order to make a boys' cave, because nobody's paying attention to them due to the Maddie and Liv drama. Sure. There's different angles on it at the same time. There's no dudes with cameras on their shoulders filming everything. You know, I mean, even Modern Family really kind of played on the edge of that for so long. The only ones that really kept it pretty close is The Office and Parks and Recreation, primarily. In order to, you knew that the people, even when they weren't just doing that confessional, the scenes where they're talking to the camera, you knew that the people in front of the camera knew there was people watching them and filming them, and they acted as such. Because Jim's always looking at the camera, making a face, or if something gets really tense, Pam will look at the camera, tensely, or Michael will try to puff himself up and look cool, or try to close the door and the blinds so he doesn't have to say or do anything embarrassing in front of the cameras. So they do that even in the scenes that are not confessional. This one uses a confessional trope, but then everything else is just a normal sitcom. So yeah, kids aren't going to care about that. It doesn't matter. They're not going to figure it out. They're not going to care about it. Every once in a while, the confessional trope allows them to just throw in some jokes in a way that the kids, it's a writer's shortcut. So yeah, and it was very popular at the time. That, like, again, Office and Parks and Rec, and then Modern Family, and so many others keep using it. Other things are now parodying it. So Yeah, it's a thing. But all said, I mean, I love Dove Cameron. She is, one, just gorgeous as a sweetheart. She's 15 here, so don't read anything into that. But she is, she's snappy, she's sharp, she's playing. This is a dream to be able to play two characters at the same time. So there's a lot of, you get to play against yourself, which can be a little bit difficult, but also you get to not just be the same character all the time. So it creates, I guess, more, hopefully it was more fun for her. I don't know. Every once in a while you hear about these just terrible behind the scenes on set situations, and there was like always one actor who was like, we can't talk about, but eventually later on they find out, oh, they were, we can talk about them now, and they're in jail. But as far as I know, that's not the case with this show. I have no idea, but everyone seems to be having a good time. And wow, I'm looking at this one shot as the scenes fly by, and they're twins, but one of them in the split screen is visibly shorter than the other one. Oh, okay, Liv would be wearing heels. That's why. Yeah. Well, I figured that out. I am suddenly, after one episode, just really breaking this thing down. Yeah, I'm just like, oh, there's the logic of it all. But anyway, it's Dove Cameron's show, of course. It's her showcase. They're building her up to bigger things, and of course she moves on to Descendants, and she's big in that. She's the main character for the most part, at least from what I could see. And she's gone on to other great things, and I think she's fantastic. And she, I don't know what she's doing next, but hopefully she's a movie star one of these days. Look back on her like Zendaya, and you'll just be like, oh my gosh, remember when she was on Disney Channel? Now she's just doing all sorts of crazy fun stuff as a grown-up. So, yay, good for Dove. As it goes, if this stays this level, it looks like it's a fun trip, and I imagine there's a pretty good contingency of Liv and Maddie fans and just Dove Cameron fans. So yeah, this is not something that's made for me, and it's not something I'm going to watch again. It doesn't interest me. There's not a story or comedic component that makes a man my age go, I think I need to dig into this further. No, that's not going to be a thing that's going to happen. So yeah, this is the one and only time I'm watching it, unless I'm stuck in a room with children who are like, we gotta watch Liv and Maddie. And I don't think I'm going to be in that situation anytime soon that I know of. Yeah, so if you grew up with this, and honestly it's not even 10 years old, but have fun, revisit it, especially when Dove becomes the biggest star in the world. No jinx. And when she gets back from the walkout and the picketing and everything else like everybody else. Let's pick tomorrow's episode.
464.
Wow, we finally got out of that 200s area. 464. That might be it's toward the end. That's one of the very last things. Because we only have just under 500 episodes. 464. Okay. 464, right? I just have to make sure. My memory sucks, and I'm tired. 464 is actually, again, not a documentary, which is just weird. It's a series. So we might be able to watch one fairly short episode, and I'll be able to get back to you tomorrow with it. But I don't know what this is. I had an idea of what Liv and Maddie was, because I think there's two girls named Liv and Maddie in that one. But in this one, I'm not sure what Wander Over Yonder is. It could be about traveling. Don't know. Wander Over Yonder is what we're watching next on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that.